Hello everyone and welcome back to a new video on the How to Make a Squid Game series. Now before this video starts, I want to let you guys know that I have a Patreon, so if you guys want to support me and want to have access to every single one of my tutorial files, they will all be available in my Patreon in the $10 tier. With that being said, let's start. So what I'm going to be starting with is basically making it so that you don't have to touch this purple part in order for the game to start, because we want that to be fully automatic. So I'm just going to remove this join button and these invisible walls, and what I'm going to do is just go to server script service game loop, and I'm just going to do this. So I'm going to firstly change the intermission time to something like 10 seconds and make this like 30 seconds so that it's not too long. And what I'm going to do is just read this. So we have a table for all of our players and we have a game ended value variable. Now to do this, instead of having to do all of that, okay, so just removal of this. Don't remove it yet, but do this. So repeat, wait, one, until hashtag or game dot players dot numplayers is greater or equal to 2 than 2. But in this case, I want that to be 1, just for the sake of the video, because I don't want to have to start a 2-player server. And after that, I'm just going to loop through, just do this. States.value, copy this, paste it right here. And then we want to copy this for loop and paste it here. And instead of checking if they have the isPlaying value, all we have to do is just do local character is equal to player.character or nil. Now we're gonna check if the character is not equal to nil, then we'll do this. So copy this, paste it here. Now what does this do exactly? Well, this is very simple. All we are doing here is basically just this while loop will start when the game starts, and we have an empty table for the in-game players and the game ended variable. Now just ignore this variable. What we have here is we set the status value to waiting for enough players, and we are basically just waiting in here. We repeat wait until game.players.numplayers, which is the current number of players in a server, is greater or equal than 1. And after that, we just loop through every single player in the game and just check if they have a character. If they are fully loaded, then we add them to the table, and then we can just get rid of this. And after doing that, what I want to do is teleport every single player to the red light, green light game mode. And to do that, it's very simple. All we have to do is just check this. Okay, so finish connection is equal to workspace.finish.touched if PLR. Okay, now this is very simple to do. Instead of checking if we find the isPlaying value and checking if it's equal to true, what I'm going to do is go to the PLR data value and go to info and just delete the isPlaying value. And instead, I'm going to do it from here. So local isPlaying is equal to instance.new, and we're gonna create a let's go for a string value, and then we're gonna do isPlaying.name is equal to isPlaying, and isPlaying.parent is equal to player.info. Now what does this do exactly? Well, it's very simple. Instance.new basically creates an instance. So in here we are just creating a string value, and we are setting its name to is playing, and just parenting it to the player's info. After doing that, in here, instead of doing all of this, we'll just check if PLR find first child is playing and not. So just remove this dot value is equal to true, and we're just going to keep it like this, and not PLR dot info find first child winner. Then we're gonna do all of this. After doing that, we're gonna, instead of having this choose next game, we're just going to remove that, because we will only have one game mode. You can add as many as you want, but in this series I will only be showing you how to make one game mode, which is red light, green light. Now after that, we are setting the status value to game starting, but before we do that, what you want to do is just, instead of doing this, we're gonna start from the, we'll just remove this because it's basically just a waste of 2 seconds. And for I is equal to intermission 0 minus 1. Okay, that's good. Now we will teleport the players. And to do this, instead of doing this, if table.find and player.info find first child is playing value is equal to true, what I'm going to be doing is just checking if we have found the is playing value. Then we will just find a random spawn and find a random spawn and just teleport them. After that, we'll just, for I, status.value is equal to I, and then we set the status value to go, and we'll wait 1 second, and the invisible barrier, okay, I'm going to change this to 0.5, and then we have the spawn function, and now we have to fix a bunch of stuff here. So firstly, while we do, for underscore comma player in pairs game.players get players, if player.info find first child this, we don't need the dot value is equal to true part, so just delete that, and then and player find first and game.replicated storage or die is equal to true. Okay, now that's good. Now if they die, then instead of setting this value to false, we're gonna add a colon destroy. Now that we have that done, what I'm going to do is just scroll down again, and for I, v pairs players, looping through the players and checking if we found these playing value, and instead of doing this again, just do this is playing, then we'll do this and do the same thing here. And now that's pretty much it. Now, why not game ended? Remove this again. And then we'll just do this. Okay, that's good. Now, do the same thing here. And that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's good. Okay, we have another problem here. When the game ends, what we want to do, also we want the game to end if there is only one player left, but before we do that, what I'm going to do is just fix this. So when the game ends, game ended will be set to true, and if player find first child is playing, then we will just kill them and teleport them. So if player.character.humanoid.health is equal to 0. Okay, now we also want to destroy these playing values. So player.info find first child is playing destroy, and we also want to clear this in-game players table. Now to clear this, the best way to clear a table, I think, is basically just doing this for I, v in pairs, and in-game players do I is equal to and nil. I think that's how you clear a table. I'm not really too sure, but hopefully that's how you do it. And after that, I'm going to print hashtag in-game players. Also, you also want to print how many players are in the game. So right here, print. Actually, we want to, yes, print hashtag in-game players. Now everything should work, hopefully. Now I'm going to just clear this out. Okay, so join is not a valid member of this. Okay, that is very simple to fix. Just go back to the stats script and remove this. That's pretty much it. Now, as you can see, it says that there are, what's this coming from? Okay, it's coming from here. Now that is weird because that basically means that we did not. Okay, this is very weird. So let's go back to our game loop, close this, and see what we are doing here. So let's add a wait 5 seconds here. And while true do, local in-game players, status.value, waiting for enough players, while wait 1 until, okay, this is, I think, we are looping through the players, checking if there is a character, table.insert, in-game players, comma player.name. Okay, now I think I'm just going to print player was added to the table, and see if this works. Okay, so this works this time. Okay, so this is kind of weird because, okay, I got it. I think it's just because of the fact that when you join, I think your character is not fully loaded or something, because when I added the wait 5 it worked. So it did not wait until the number of players is higher than 1. Okay, that was weird, but I'll fix that. Okay, so let's see if the game loop is working. Okay, so this UI is still stuck here, but we'll fix that. Okay, so it looks like, okay, nothing is working right now. Okay, we have to put things back when the game ends. So right here, go down and do a, okay, so where is this coming from? This is for this, and this is for that. Now, this means that we did not clear the table. Now I'll just go ahead and try to find a solution for this, and I'll be back. Okay, so I found out that the fix is very simple for this, so I just have to do this. So for I in pairs table, so we will take the in-game players, do in-game players I is equal to nil, and that should clear the table. And now what I want to do is remove this wait 5 seconds and see if things work. Okay, so it starts the game without waiting for enough players, which is very weird. Repeat, wait until game. Okay, instead of doing this, I'm going to do game hashtag game.players get players is greater or equal than 1. And after that, I'll wait another 2 seconds, and I'll put this up, and I'll remove this. And now that should work, hopefully. Okay, so it looks like this works, but we still are not too sure. And also, we forgot to reset the we forgot to reset this. So red light, green light, dot start, dot can collide is equal to 3. And I'm pretty sure those are the only changes we are making to the red light, green light map. And I also want to do another thing, which is fix a bug, because when I just, oh, I'm still moving, and we have another problem here. Player finds first child. Okay, this is very simple to fix. Scroll down to the error, and this is player.info. Player.info. Finds first child is plain. Hopefully we are doing the same thing for other things. And yes, we are. Now to fix this other bug, so when the game ends, we wanna make sure that this UI is invisible. So to do that, just put this in. So we will just do this. Player.player.UI, and also make sure you put it before the if statement. .main.letColor.visible is equal to false, and that should work. And hopefully, if this is working, then I think I am done with this series. So let's just see if this works. Now, what would happen if I move when it says red light? I'll check that out when I finish this. And yeah, this should be, yeah, I think this is working. Oh yes, and it also cleared the table. And I don't know why this is happening, but it's weird. Like, I just set that to false and it's still displaying. See, that is very weird. Oh, I think I know why. We need to reset this to false. So right here, I'm going to type in game.replicated storage, game.replicated storage.replicated storage.redlight, find first child, find first child, red light dot value is equal to false, and that should fix all of this. Now we need to find a way to end this while loop. Okay, so we are killing the player in here. Okay, before we do this, we just have to do this. So and not. Okay, instead of doing this, what you can do is just right here do if game ended is equal to false, then, and then you can just copy all of this and just paste it here. It's that simple. And I think I'm going to change this while game ended is equal to false. And that hopefully should work. Okay, so it's starting in 1 second. It should teleport us, and yes, it did. Now I want to see what happens if I die. So if I die, we have to wait for the entire game to restart, and no errors, which is a good sign. So to restart the game when there are 0 players left, all we have to do is to go right here, and in here we're gonna check if hashtag in-game players is equal to 0, then, and break. And when we break this, it should go automatically to this, hopefully. Or instead, we can just set game ended to true. And that's pretty much it. Nope. We also need to make sure that we remove the player when they die. So right here where we kill the player, we want to remove them from the table. So in-game players, player.name is equal to nil. And this should hopefully work. I also want to make sure that I print hashtag in-game players. And I'll just play the game right now and see if this works. Waiting for enough players, 10 seconds. I need to lower this because it's really annoying for you guys to watch me wait 10 seconds each time. But that's just the problem with making a minigame series. You just have to do a lot of testing. So I'm going to try to kill myself, and it printed 1. But did the game end? Nope. Because we are basically not removing the player from the table. Now for I, we're gonna do this. For I is equal to, for I in pairs, in-game players, do if I and square brackets if in-game players I is equal to player.name, then in-game players I is equal to nil. And then I will just break this, or never mind, we don't need to break it. And I have to wait 5 seconds again. Now I don't want to wait 10 seconds, so I'll just put this to 3 and just test this very quickly. So it's starting in 1 second, and it's teleporting me. And let's see if it removes me from the table. And yes, this time it did remove me, but it did not end the game. So to fix that, what I will be doing is scrolling down to this part where we are doing this. And we're gonna check if, instead of ending the game from here, remove this, copy it, cut it, and paste it here. And then we can just break this for loop. But instead of doing this, we're gonna check if it's equal to 0, then we're gonna end this and break. And that's it for now. Now it should teleport me, and if I die, it should restart the game because I am the only player left. So if I just go ahead and do this, that should hopefully... Yes, it did end the game. That's great. So as you can see, we have a fully... Oh. Just as I was about to say that we have a fully working game. Okay, are we setting this to true? Yes, we are. And why am I keeping this in the workspace? That's just stupid. Okay, drag this inside of server storage. And go back here, and instead of doing this, cut this, paste it here, and when the game starts, we will just do this. So local red light green light is equal to game.replicated storage, game.server storage, and this clone, and the red light green light dot parent is equal to workspace. And after that, instead of having to do all of this, I'm just going to do red light green light destroy, and hopefully this works. And is this going to work without any bugs? Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to try to finish this. And this. I'm really hoping this works because this tutorial is already too long. So okay, let's see if it restarted everything. And yes, it did. That's great. Now I'm going to try to oof. And as you can see, it ended the game. And now it says starting in 2 seconds. And as you can see, everything works just fine. Now after doing that, what I'm going to do is remove every single print because we don't have any bugs anymore, which is great. And I'm going to just show you guys how to save the player's stats. So I'm just going to try to find every single print and remove it. That's basically it. And fix the way this is written. So I'll just keep this like that. Okay, that's not bad. Okay, we are done with the main game, and now I'm going to show you guys how to save the players' coins or wins. So to save the players' wins, it's very simple. All you have to do is inside of your stats script, we're gonna get a data store service, local ds is equal to game get service data store service, or let's just change this to data store service. And in here you're gonna want to have a player removing connect function, and we're gonna get the player. And when we get the player, we wanna just create a data key. So local ds is equal to data store service get data store, and just type in something random. So I'm going to put in my data store, and after that I wanna change this to pickle function and ds set async player user id wins comma, and we will want to save the player leader stats wins value. And after that, what I'm going to do in the player added event is just check do a local data and equal function data is equal to and data store ds get async, and it will be the player's user id and wins. And after that we'll just check right here, if data is not equal to nil, then player leader stats wins value is equal to and data. Now we also want to do this, so game bind to close function, and we'll just want to wait 2 seconds. Now this will not work in the ROBLOX Studio unless you go to game settings, home, game settings, security, and just in the security tab just enable studio access to API services. And if you just play the game right now, that should save our wins. So I'll just set my wins value, leader stats wins, to something like 3, and leave the game and rejoin. And as you can see, I still have my 3 wins. Now this is going to be it for this series. I really hope you enjoyed. If you did, please like the video, subscribe, share it with your friends, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.